Welcome to the Black Sparrow Media Internet Broadcast Network.
You are listening to Linux in the Ham Shack. LHS is a podcast about Linux, open source, and amateur radio, for everyone. Now here are your hosts, Cheryl, W5MOO, Russ, K5TUX, and Bill, NE4RD.
Well, hello everybody and welcome. You have tuned in to episode number 583 of Linux in the Ham Shack, the most terrific amateur radio podcast on the internet. Episode 583 is our short topics episode, so thanks for joining us for that tonight. We're glad you're here, and before we get to our topics for the evening, we will go ahead and introduce ourselves. For the on assignment Cheryl, W5MOO, I'm Russ, K5TUX.
And I'm Bill, NE4RD.
All right, so we have some short topics for tonight. We have some Linux topics, we have some amateur radio topics, and we have some that cross those boundaries, which we call Linux in the Ham Shack. That's the name of the game. And I guess we should probably just acknowledge the fact that in a couple of weeks, it's going, well, maybe less than a couple of weeks when you hear this.
Yes.
it will be Field Day, ARRL's Field Day. And we're not going to talk about Field Day because everyone else is talking about Field Day. So
yeah, it was flooding the news, the amateur radio news that I was trying to pull for this this show. So you get what you get.
Yep, absolutely. So if you're looking for Field Day news, you can go anywhere else, but you won't find it here. But if you want to participate, it's the 28th and 29th of June. So, get out there, do your Field Day stuff. Rip up those logs.
Not 1 mm, right?
Exactly. Not 1 mm. That's what I plan on doing. All right, so that is all we are going to say about that, and we're going to move into some other amateur radio topics. And since I declined to include this topic, and Bill's like, well, there's nothing else to talk about, so I'm going to throw it in. We'll let you go ahead and read it.
Okay, yeah, this is hurricane season is here, and this is one of the many stories that were floating around the country here talking about the hurricane season, and this one came out of the News for Jack's site. So this is in Jacksonville, Florida. And this is the JEA, that's the electricity and water utility down there, and the Duval County Emergency Coordinator are preparing for hurricane season by taking steps to prevent and respond to potential power outages. Amateur radio operators, specifically those part of the Amateur Radio Emergency Service, otherwise known as ARES, play a crucial role in maintaining communication during emergencies when traditional services may fail. Brian Schultz, the Duval County Emergency Coordinator, mentioned that during the first 3 days after a major hurricane, a community might lose outside communication, and his team of volunteers fills the gaps by providing messages for the general public to send out to family members or loved ones to say, I'm okay, I made it through the hurricane. These operators are essential in areas where critical infrastructure is damaged, as they can facilitate communications between shelters and emergency management. And as I said, that came from News4Jax, and this is just a good reminder, especially if you're in those hurricane-prone regions, that keep your go bag kind of set up. Make sure you have your HT batteries charged and everything sort of together. Should you need to go and deploy or protect your own family and stuff like that. It's always a good time to kind of review everything that you have prepared for either a long time without power and water or a long time in the shelter. So there you go.
Yep, excellent. I mean, it's a story.
It is a story.
Yeah, it's a story. It could be a universal story, but this one came from Jacksonville, Florida. I also declined a story about a certain very large military organization using amateur radio fox hunting as a skill enhancer because I didn't want to be promoting that. I don't know if you saw that one, but
yeah, I don't know if I did.
Yeah, I felt like it was kind of inappropriate. So we'll move on to the one that I did find, which I think I went through and fixed most of the problems here, but this, of course, is largely AI generated. So, because it didn't have an actual story, I just had a press release, and I had to turn it into a story. So I had some help with that. But then I proofread, so hopefully this will be all right. Anyway, Morse Maven released for iOS and Android. We have been talking about CW a fair amount lately, so here's some more CW. Designed to be a comprehensive tool for Morse code training, decoding, and transmission, Morse Maven aims to make the learning and practical application of the historic communication method more accessible than ever before. The app offers a versatile platform for users of all skill levels. Using the Coke method, Farnsworth spacing, and an innovative sound engine for crystal clear code generation, novices can quickly excel, while experienced operators can leverage its advanced features for real-time decoding and signal sending. With the ability to send code via device's flashlight, Morse Maven also brings accessibility to the game and the ability to learn in quiet or loud environments. The author, Dav M0WDV, emphasizes his commitment to creating a user-friendly and highly functional tool that caters to the diverse needs of the Morse code community. Early adopters have praised the app's intuitive interface and robust performance, anticipating that it will become an indispensable resource for both educational purposes and practical field use. I'm pretty sure that's the AI. I'm completely making that up. But it sounds good. The quote, however, is a real quote. I set out to build the tool I needed at each stage of my learning, from absolute beginner to someone pushing for higher speeds. I'm now using the app daily in the advanced training modes. This isn't just another Morse app. It's a comprehensive learning and practice partner designed from the ground up based on real learning experiences and cognitive insights. That's what Dav M0WDV said about his own application. So if you want to check this out, it is an app on your phone or tablet or whatever, iOS and Android available. Obviously, it's not open source that I could find out, but it is amateur radio related, and we're not necessarily talking always about open source, but it is available. I don't know if it's free or not. I didn't check that, and the article doesn't say, but links to the website for this, and of course, you can just look in the app stores for the application itself, and links to more information will be in the show notes. It does have screenshots of the GUI. It doesn't look bad.
Yeah, I'll probably try to have it on my phone. I haven't. I thought I've had this on here before, or I've looked at it before. It's been around for a while, right?
It says it's new.
Oh, it just looked familiar to me, so maybe I've seen it before.
Okay.
Well, that gets us into open source because, hey, amateur radio was a very short segment. We could have went on and on about Field Day. Oh, darn, I mentioned it again.
You mentioned it again. You're not mentioning the Boy Scouts. Oh, damn it. I said the Boy Scouts.
Oh, no. We're just sabotaging the podcast. Here we go. Well, here's our first story, and these have sort of a theme with them. I'm sorry. I sort of found one story, then found the other, then found a product. So anyway, the first story here is Denmark's government ditches Microsoft for open source, although most of Microsoft products are open source too, but that's besides the point. The Danish government is transitioning from Microsoft products to open source alternatives like Linux and LibreOffice to enhance digital sovereignty and reduce reliance on US-based tech companies. This initiative, led by the Ministry of Digital Affairs, aims to give Denmark greater control over its digital infrastructure and data, and with a target completion by autumn 2025. That's obviously a highlight note. Key details of the transition include up to half of the ministry's employees will switch from Windows to Linux and from Office 365 to LibreOffice. The move is part of Denmark's broader digitalization strategy, emphasizing self-reliance and security. We saw that. You can tell this was AI summarized. Financial considerations also play a role, as maintaining Microsoft subscriptions and upgrading hardware can be costly. That's very true. If significant issues arise during the transition, the ministry has contingency plans to revert to Microsoft products temporarily while exploring alternatives. And we've seen this happen many times. Because they bite off more than they could chew. Similar shifts have already occurred in major Danish municipalities like Aarhus and Copenhagen. And this was featured on OMG Ubuntu. So you know where they sit in that topic, right?
Oh my gosh, it's Ubuntu. All right. Yeah. So keeping in line with this theme of governments trying to save money by not giving money to Microsoft, another story, we're done with Teams. German state hits uninstall on Microsoft. Didn't we read a story like many years ago about Germany just ditching Microsoft in general?
Yeah, this was like the story before would be replaced with Germany. Yeah.
Right.
Apparently, they haven't all gotten rid of Microsoft.
No, but I guess they're trying. So a German state, Schleswig-Holstein, I'm assuming that's like 50% of the way there, is moving away from Microsoft software, including Teams, in favor of open source alternatives. This decision comes amid growing concerns over the power of major tech companies and the costs associated with Microsoft's mandatory updates. What are you laughing at, me?
No, I'm just laughing at the story. It's just so funny. It's all the same.
Yeah, it's all the same. The state aims to regain control over data. Is it literally word for word the same? It's pretty close.
Oh, it's almost the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is from two different sources. So there you go.
Two different AI bots.
Two different AI bots on two different sites. Yeah.
Right. The state aims to regain control over data storage and ensure digital sovereignty by switching to open source software. This move is expected to save the state tens of millions of euros in the long run. However, such transitions can be a challenge due to the resistance from staff who may find the change disruptive.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. They might have to switch back. There might be a contingency plan where they can go back to Microsoft temporarily. This decision reflects a broader trend of organizations seeking to reduce dependency on large tech firms. I'm glad we're reading this twice. And explore more cost-effective and flexible solutions. That came from France 24, but the same.
France 24.
France 24. Yes, whatever.
Yes, France 24.
All right, read the next AI-generated topic along these same lines.
This one wasn't AI-generated. Only the news story ones, because, reading news blurbs are kind of boring. But you can see the general theme here. Obviously, both of these
actually, what we need to do is have it summarize stories like as Joe Dirt or something, just to,
or as a pirate.
Yeah, as a pirate. Yeah, there you go.
The German state Schleswig-Holstein. No. Anyway. So there's definitely a theme going on in the EU with a lot of this anti-Microsoft and anti-US tech companies driving, basically their entire infrastructure of their business. And I came across this product that was I can't remember exactly where I saw the blurb from, but I got the product name and I looked it up. So here it is. This is Huly. Huly is an open source platform. It serves as an all-in-one replacement of Linear, Jira, Slack, and Notion. The Huly platform is a robust framework designed to accelerate the development of business applications such as CRM systems. This repository includes several applications such as chat, project management, CRM, HRM, and ATS. Various teams are building products on top of the platform, including Huly and TraceX. For those of you wanting to self-host this project, you can easily set up your own cluster or droplet, and the license on this product is EPL 2.0. And I have the links in there to the Huly IO site and the self-hosted GitHub repo. And it looks like it's pretty easy to get going if you want to run your own sort of chat platform and all-in-one team merbobber thing, a la Slack and GitLab and GitHub integrations and stuff like that. It looks kind of interesting, and it just kind of came in on the heels of these other stories. So I thought, why not find something that is newer and open source and one that I haven't heard of to kind of mention along these same lines.
All right, very good. As if there is a need for another, CRM platform. Because, there aren't more than, 200 of them at least. So
yeah.
But everyone's trying to not use Teams, except for the people who are using Teams. So.
Yeah. I use Teams every day. So
yeah, I use Teams every day too. Oh yeah. All right. Well, guess what? Because you went rummaging around in the dust bin or the dumpster. I'm sorry, portable waste container, because dumpster's a trademark.
There's a negative connotation to it, right? Yeah.
So you were rummaging around in the software laboratories, and you found a couple of projects that you wanted to talk about, and I'm going to let you talk about them because I don't know anything about these.
Sure. Yeah. I was up early this morning. I knew I had to get ready to go to the theater and stuff. And so I was like, I know I talked about going back into GitHub and looking at recently updated projects to kind of find some interesting projects that maybe we haven't heard about. And sure enough, in the first page or two of search results, I found a couple. And this one was pretty interesting here. This is W6RGC/AI. It's an on and off grid ham radio AI voice assistant because, we need more of those. So here's some of the features. This is the prompt based feature. So this is when you're typing into the chat box like you're used to with ChatGPT and some of the others. It can perform QSOs, exchange call sign, name, location, and signal reports with confirmation. Run simple nets, handle check-ins, corrections, maintain a participant list, and provide counts. Does FEMA ICS 213 messaging, assist with passing and recording messages in FEMA ICS 213 format. Some of the function-based features include voice APRS. This allows you to send and receive APRS messages using natural language voice commands. It does require the internet, though. Weather information gets the current weather and 3-day forecast for any location using natural language voice commands. Requires the internet and an open weather map API key. Time zone information, Wikipedia information, basic voice commands also for status, exit and reset and identify commands. Some of the core technical features include efficient wake word detection. So it uses MIT's AST, the audio spectrogram transformer model, for detection of the wake word. The high quality speech recognition uses the OpenAI Whisper. Conversational AI leverages modern LLMs, including for online, it uses Gemini, and for offline, it uses Olama. Hey, let's see what else. Natural text-to-speech. It employs Piper TTS, text-to-speech for fast, high-quality local voice generation. Has automatic audio device detection for AIOC and DigiRig adapters. Modular architecture facilitates easy swapping of AI models, prompts, and hardware interfaces, and centralizes all configurations settings managed by constants.py. So yeah, this is also Python-based. Does PTT control and carrier sense, so it knows all about the radio being on and if there's a signal coming in on it. Periodic identification, including automatic station ID, and graceful termination via voice commands. So, and I have the link to the repo, and it looks pretty interesting. There's a lot of code there. I didn't actually look up the license. Let's see if you put a license file in there. License. I don't see a license file in here yet. So, not quite ready. Not quite ready for production if they don't have a license file. So I'm sure he'll get one there, or, we'll find out more in the future. And this other one I found was DragonLog, because, hey, we could use another logging application. This is Andreas Schwawos, Delta Fox 1 Alpha Sierra Charlie's project. It's called DragonLog, and it's a logging program to log your ham radio QSOs. Besides logging for ham radio, you can also log CB radio QSOs. How about that? Some of the features include predefined fields for logging, log multiple QSOs, edit log entries, input validation for call sign, RST locator, show worked before if call sign is already logged, distance calculation, automatic time, local call book with immediate lookup. It has also, an OM data build of your contacts per call sign. Has a contest call history with received exchanges per contest and call sign. Okay, so it has some contest configuration. That's cool. Incorporating prefixes and suffixes. So just so you know, I did not install this or look at it in that way. I just went over the details. I might come back to it, and we might take a deeper look at some of these, and we'll give some more context on that. Let's see, incorporates prefixes and suffixes. So it user-triggered callbook search. Does use CamQTH and QRZCQ.com for that. Single and multiple QSO log upload. Has a ham QTH connection as well. EQSL upload. And logbook of the world, signing, upload, and check status. Let's see, follow contest statistics. It does export contest logs in Cabrillo, EDI, or other special formats. It does CAT, band frequency and mode, via hamlib integration. watch log files for automatic log import for WSJTX, WAS8 call, FLDigi, and others. And of course, it has handles regular QSO log imports and exports using ADIFs, ADI, ADX, and ADI files. And also can take in Excel CSV files. It'll log 11 meter band QSOs, bunch of other little things here. Does DX spots. So yeah, lots of interesting things in this application. And is this the one that was in Perl? I don't think it's the one that's in Perl. No, it's in Python as well. So, there was another one that I found that I decided not to include because this was already too long. It was in Perl, and I was like, "Oh God, I haven't seen that," because I saw like the CPAN CPAN file was in there, so that was kind of interesting. So yeah, it looks like a lot of people are working on some interesting projects. These were just two out of probably 18 or 20 just in the first two pages. Searching for recently updated applications. I also saw that SO2 SDR has received an update and did a release not too long ago, like a week or so ago. So there's always kind of interesting things you can find looking through the nice data warehouse that is GitHub. So and that's all I have for those.
Oh, hey, that's not bad at all because I didn't have anything at all. So, so I appreciate you rummaging around in the dark depths of GitHub and finding some interesting topics to talk about. Yeah, it's interesting that somebody went through the trouble of coding a logger in Perl because I know like 10, 15 years ago when I was going to open source and Linux-based conferences and everything, Perl was big, big, big. Everyone liked Perl. And that's not to say that they didn't also like Python and other things, but nowadays I hear nothing about Perl. I mean, if it isn't Python, Go, or Ruby,
or Rust,
yeah, right. You don't really hear much about it. So, oh well, good on you for spending way too much time trying to figure out Perl. Well, Perl stands for what is it? Practical extraction and regular expression language.
Reporting language.
Reporting language. Yeah. It's basically one of those Emaxian things. It's like somebody took a regular expression parser and turned it into an operating system.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Well, it still exists. Cool. All right, well, those are all our topics for the evening, so thanks for joining us for those, but we do have a little bit before we wrap up the show. We do have announcements and feedback. I don't have any actual feedback this time around, and our announcements are the same as they always are. Please support us over on Patreon and PayPal if you can. Buy some merch if you can. Join us over on YouTube, and of course, more content is coming. We keep saying that, and every once in a while, some stuff does actually show up, so you definitely want to be over on YouTube if you can be. It doesn't cost you anything, and you don't even have to pay attention until something shows up there. And with that, we are down to our new subscribers, supporters, and live participants. We didn't have any Patreons or subscribers sign up this time around. No free Patreons either. And I've got a little addendum here that I threw in about Facebook. Every time I log into Facebook, it tells us that we have new page likes and new followers, but there is no way for us to find out who those folks are. So at this point, we are just going to go forth, assuming that people will join us on Facebook, and please do that if you haven't already. But we will no longer be mentioning those folks on Facebook because we can't. We don't know how. So,
yeah, I think you have to run a group now instead of a page.
Well, maybe if we switch to that, which means we probably won't. But if somehow we actually get reporting on who signs up, or if we create a group or something like that, then we'll change this. But going forward, until something changes, we will no longer be talking about Facebook in this segment. Over on Twitter, nobody signed up. Well, we did have a couple of phony spammy accounts, but no legit people. On Instagram, we had Nick 2E0IFC. On Mastodon, Walter DO2AY and Craig McDaniel. Nobody on the YouTubes that we know of because the numbers keep going up, but we don't always get alerts as to who the people are because I think you can suppress who you are if you join on YouTube. On Discord, we had Fried Liver and JJ Cook 6405. Blue Sky, we had Jay Wench, something like that. Something, Western European. And Tai Kef, or Tai, never mind. Just, that. Nobody joined us on the mailing list, and in the live chat tonight we had Kenneth, Woody, KC1VOP, Fred, KI5FQQ, and Robert, KM4OUX. So thanks everybody for joining us, and thanks everybody for listening to the show. We appreciate you being here. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't be doing this, and we thank, of course, all of our financial supporters for helping to keep the lights on and for keeping us going to Hamvention every year. We really do appreciate that very much. In the meantime, there is going to be this field day thing coming up, so keep your eyes peeled for that and your ears open. And in the meantime, we'll be back next week with a weekender. But until then, we'll let you go back to whatever it was you were doing, and we'll wrap up this episode number 583 of Linux in the Ham Shack. And for the on assignment Cheryl W5MOO, I'm Russ, K5TUX.
And I'm Bill, NE4RD73.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Linux in the Ham Shack. LHS is a community-sponsored podcast. Live recordings are Sunday nights at 8 o'clock Central Time. Our homepage can be found at lhspodcast.info. You can support the podcast via Patreon at patreon.com/LHS podcast. We're also on Discord, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and Mastodon. Contact us via email at info@lhspodcast.info or via voicemail at 190954777469. That's 1909 LHS show. We also have merch. So until next we meet, remember to always heed your hedonism.